Welcome back to my channel. Okay guys, so this is something that I actually discussed with my interview. I've done an interview with Zed Monopoly 2 weeks ago, and we discussed this particular topic. And when we were discussing this particular topic, we were talking about why and how it happened. So what the actual discussion was how many people made it out the other side, right? So obviously I did, Zed did, and quite a number of other people did also. But the other side, meaning, during COVID, it was very, very difficult. It was a very difficult period. And before that, it was very difficult as well to identify, because we were trading stocks predominantly at the time. We had to identify specific stocks, and we actually had to look for the setups, as opposed to just looking at a future and then just seeing the setup. We actually had to search for individual stocks that had a particular setup, and we came out the other side. I think we're actually in a similar kind of environment at the moment, because what we're seeing at the moment is the futures, in particular the Dow Jones, it's been completely manipulated, and it's been pumped. Now at this stage, we don't actually know why. So what is it? It's the 19th of July, 2023. So we don't know why it's getting pumped. And I have a couple of theories as to what it is, but they're somewhat controversial, so I'll keep it to myself. But this is what makes traders. This is what makes traders. In the last week, I've had some big losses on the Dow Jones. I mean, I've always said from day one that I've always taken losses. Majority of the time, they're relatively small losses, but certainly in the last week, I've had some big losses, right? And it happens, right? It happens. This is the business. You can't just, continuously make money and never lose any. There is points where you lose big lumps of money. It just happens. And I believe that we're in a similar kind of environment at the moment. My discussion was said about we came out the other side. Well, I believe that we're in the funnel right now. We've entered the funnel, and there is the other side, or you can go back. So I think it's a very difficult environment to be in at the moment, because, for example, on the Dow Jones, it's surpassed its yearly high, right, year to date. So therefore, logically, you wouldn't take a long position, to swing trade or intraday trade. You might take a long position if you are scalp trading, but you definitely would not take a long position to hold a swing or an intraday, because the chances are there's going to be a massive sell-off, a huge sell-off, right? So it's a really difficult kind of environment that we're in at the moment, because certainly myself, I would only consider taking short positions on the Dow Jones intraday swing, but yet it's continuing to get pumped. So at the moment, for short sellers, there's a lot of money getting lost, and as I said, I've lost a substantial amount of money in the last week. But I mean, I know that I'll get it back. It's not like it's gone forever. I know I'll get it back. I've been in this business 5 years. I've been in this type of scenario many times. So I know that as long as I manage my risk, that my account is fine and I'll get that money back. But it's still a difficult period, right? It's still a difficult period. And I'm personally, in 5 years of the business and 4 years of trading the Dow, I've never seen the rallies and the pumps that we've seen in the last kind of week and a half, 2 weeks. So in these tough times, this is where quite a few traders just give up. This is not for me, this is not working. We've been using a specific strategy in my Telegram group now for probably 10 weeks. We tweaked it in the first couple of weeks, but then we had consistent returns, week after week after week. But yet the last kind of week and a half, 2 weeks maybe, it's been very difficult, right? So, it's not the strategy, it's not the approach, it's the fact that the market is getting pumped. It's getting pumped. It's being manipulated. So the only thing that you can do is stick to what you know has worked. So we know we'll come out the other side of this. It's just a matter of, managing the risk that you have. So whatever your account size is, you have to manage your risk. And if that means that you say to yourself, right, I can only afford to take a 50-point loss on a swing trade and then I have to close it, well then that's what you need to do. You know, you can't allow it to grow arms and legs and, you know, 2, 3, 4, 500 points in the red if your account cannot sustain that. Now, me personally, I can sustain that. I can sustain, you know, a position being 1,000 points in red. You know, I can sustain that, okay? But if you can't sustain it, you have to ensure that you apply this level of risk management. And again, you know, for me, we're taking these losses at the moment, but we're going back in at the top. And as long as you manage your risk accordingly, and you can go back in at the top again, you will of course regain any of the losses that you have taken in the last kind of week or 2 weeks. So the market is very difficult at the moment. It's very, very difficult because it looks as though it's hit the ceiling. So what do you do when you think it's hit the ceiling? Well, you short it, don't you? And that's what a lot of traders have been doing. You know, myself, a lot of my students, you know, a lot of my friends are also shorting, but yet we're still getting caught out on this pump. So, but the important thing is that, you know, a lot of the time it's all smooth sailing. We take small losses and we make gains, but every now and again the market does this, and you know, you take a heavy hit, and it's all part of the game. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that when we're going through periods like this is where traders are truly made, because it either makes you or it breaks you. In this type of environment where you're trying to short, you know, an instrument that is at the yearly high, you know, the chances are that it's going to pull back, right, because it's being pumped. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. It's difficult, but you still have to try and remove that emotion, take them losses, and then go back in at the top again. And there will be a massive sell-off on the Dow. Mark my words, it has to happen. So I'll do another video. I've taken some substantial trades at the top, and I'll do a video on at least one of my positions where I return 1,000 points. So we'll come back to that maybe in a week, maybe 2 weeks, whenever I get that 1,000 points. But we're in this scenario again where it's a difficult environment that we're in, but this is how traders are made, right? You know, you either come out the other side or you give up. So there's one or the other, and that's it. We're in the most difficult environment as a short seller as we are. You know, you might not see this for another 5 years, right? So if you can manage this, come out the other side, well then everything else is going to be an absolute dream. It's going to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and we're just going to sail off into the sunset. No, we're not. That doesn't exist. But this is, we're in the trenches. Okay guys, we're in the trenches. In terms of shorting the Dow, we're in the trenches. So hang in there. You know, don't lose faith. Even if you've got to take the smallest position size available with your broker and hold it for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, you can gain 1,000, maybe 2,000 points. That is available. That is available to us at the moment. So, and anyway, if you want to join the Sambora trading community, you can DM me on my Instagram, sambora.00, or email me, eduardosambora@yahoo.com. Or if you want to join my Telegram group, again, you can DM me on my Instagram account. And we keep going, guys. We keep going. I've been in this business 5 years, you know, just over 5 years. And every now and again, we come across these situations where it's difficult. We're in the trenches. But as long as you maintain your discipline, as long as you maintain that positive mindset, you will eventually climb out of the trenches and you'll be walking in beautiful green grass. See you guys again very soon for more videos.